Check out this view, guys. This one just looks vast. Going to the north, and I'm sorry if the wind is messing up the audio, but check this out. The mountains sitting on the east side of the city. I got the same view out of my Motel 6 window. Pretty top notch. All right, guys, I'm about 24 hours into this Albuquerque adventure. It's only going to be about 48 hours because I do have to get back to work. I didn't film a whole lot yesterday after my arrival because just kind of figuring out the city and driving, and it's kind of hard to film and drive even though I'm doing it right now. But I'll tell you what, it's definitely another version of Denver, with the mountain view obviously, but also it seems a bit like Denver culturally, and as far as the layout, really easy to navigate. I obviously don't know the city in and out, but I've been on pretty much every end of the city for the most part, except the outskirts regions, which I doubt I mess with that. But I like it, you know. Some really nice areas that are right within the city, but there's also some blight right within the city. A lot of homeless, a lot of people asking me for money because it's my birthday season. I always kind of act a little more generous during that time. So I've been handing out some coins here and there. But all in all, man, totally worth a visit. 48 hours is by far not enough. I got some really good literature from the Welcome Center at the state line. And during that conversation with the lady there, I found out about some hieroglyphs. I don't think that's the word they're using. There's a different word, but that's where I'm heading to now. I've got to get gas because it's a huge national park and I'll be driving onto it. So I got to make sure I fuel up well. And you have to plan accordingly. They shut down the park at 4:30. So you're supposed to return back to the gate by 4. So it's one of those disaster show episodes where someone goes onto a national park and they get lost and have to be rescued. That won't be me today. I'm not getting that crazy. I really just want to see these hieroglyphs, or whichever the word is that they're using. I'm about to find out. So I'm gonna jump off because I'm hitting this highway, and stay tuned.
Hey, look, son. Yo, we with country music, it was rock and roll, it was indie rock with Devil Suit My Soul, it was Michael Jackson, it was Eric Clapton, Julio's Paradise, that Catholic Alan Jackson, it was Tony Braxton, Eminem, Third Eye Blind, baby, pick up my pen and look with it, Tupac Shakur, I want some more, Bone Thugs, he's 1990, turning for show, we ritual, boombox loaded, so they exploded, we hit the road, music impulsion on CDs, graduated from tech, fourth way to B, we didn't have the GPS, so we just ride to the beat, it was DMX, help me, let my suck at, VH1, the freaking pop-up videos, Kurt Cobain, try to deal with the pain, it was Marilyn Manson, the Madeline Bob,
I wish I knew.
Pro traveler tip, pro driver tip for US people only. Murphy USA is everywhere. And if you enroll, I'm not sponsored by the way, I should be. If you enroll in their program, you get points every time you get fuel with them. So I've been saving mine. I'm not using them now. I thought about it. The fuel here is $2.65, but the rest of the city is $2.99. But I'm saving my points because I want to only use them when my tank is completely on empty. But I highly recommend enrolling in this thing because you'll definitely save a lot of cash. I just got my gas and I went inside here. They got a nice little store, pretty much brand new. Pretty nice store. There's a bit of a line in there. I'm waiting and I'm waiting. And all of a sudden, we all hear a ruckus coming from the back of the store near the front door, like where the coolers are. And the owner just starts yelling, "Hey, hey," and then yells a loser. And we just saw a flash of someone going out the door. And I said, "Was that a grab and go?" He said, "Yeah." Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, a grab and go, there's been a huge uptick in grab and go theft at retail stores. California is notorious for it because they literally passed a law making it only a misdemeanor to walk into a store and steal up to, I think it's $900 worth of products. But surprisingly, you know, Oklahoma, historically Democrat, surprise if y'all didn't know that, but it's very Republican more now so, and they have it going on there too. And I've watched it happen there. I've watched people walk out of CVS pharmacy with 2 huge bags thrown over their shoulders, and most of the corporate policies do not allow them to give chase because, you know, you start chasing a thief and you might get stabbed, you might get shot, you know, it's not safe, right? And then next thing you know, the worker that was injured is going to be suing the company, and it's a mess for everybody. So if that wasn't enough, the old lady in front of me, she was swaying her body like nonstop as if there was something wrong with her. And then she got up to the register and paid cash for fuel and was trying to use an EBT card to buy a bag of chips. And she did something to lock up the entire system. They had to reboot the entire system just to ring up the rest of the customers. So, you know, I'll say this. I have seen some Albuquerque vlogs, and they're not flattering. The focus has been on the drugs and homelessness and crime. I know that exists here, 100%. On the flip side, it's freaking beautiful, you know, and I'm here to enjoy myself. I'm not here to document crime necessarily, but that element is ever present. So just like that, when you think all is well, you get a taste of it. This side of town, it pretty much looks like it was built in probably the last 10 years. But that doesn't stop the crime from coming, you know. So I'm off to the national park destination. I'm about to plug it in my GPS, but I'm pretty sure it's just right down the street here. So let's take this adventure. It's going to be excellent. Man, I just jumped off that last clip, you guys. And I approach this bridge right here. And as I'm crossing the bridge, look at what I see, man. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, this is immaculate nature, you guys. Right there, main interstate going out of the city. That's the way I came out. That's the way I'll go back into the city. And that looks like that must be downtown right there. Their downtown is not Dallas. It's not even Kansas City. It's maybe more like Wichita. Perhaps, something like that. But that is incredible. Then there's a airplane right there coming in. Airport's right over there somewhere. I was over there late last night eating at Waffle House. Pretty cool stuff right here. Authorized vehicles only. Okay. In a visitor center. So I'm going to the visitor center. Do not enter there. So we're going to go on around. You even see how they have this all paved out nicely. Now this is federal. This is federal government. This is taxpayer money, you guys. You guys, you know, forget your politics and all the emotions and hyperbolic narratives. This is your tax dollars at work. And it's nicely done, my friends. You know, it's clean. It's well paved. They blacktopped it. Even the parking lines are nice and fresh. And this is where we're about to go. This is the center, the visitor center for entering, I'm guessing. Petroglyph. There it is. Petroglyph. Interesting. Very interesting. These hills and rocks remind me of Kasumu. Quite fascinating. So I'm gonna gather myself in a backpack and hit the trail. Alright guys, welcome to Boca Negra Canyon. I had to get back in the car because this place is huge and there's different entrances for different places. Boca Negra Canyon is a Spanish term for big mouth. Negra is a feminine word for black, and Boca is mouth. And according to the National Parks volunteer I just met at the last place, let me see where I gotta go. According to him, it was a reference to the opening of a large canyon, like the mouth of a canyon. So we just passed the little security booth, but it's closed, and it says that fees have been waived. Like him or not, thank our president, I guess. You know, there's been a lot of controversy, I know, about national parks and all that good stuff, but there's no fee. There are ways to make money. They sell books back at the main entrance where I first went. You can buy books and all that good stuff, but otherwise you just come out and enjoy. And there's another officer. They got security on deck. That's great. Good stuff. Wow. Here we are. So we just entered the trail. It starts right here by the parking lot, and immediately we have a pyroglyph. Am I saying it right, or am I messing it up again? Not pyro, petroglyph. Petroglyphs represent a valuable record of cultural expression and human occupation in the Rio Grande Valley. They have deep cultural, spiritual significance to modern Pueblo groups, as well as other indigenous people, such as the Navajo and the Apache. Now, I was talking with the volunteer earlier, and he said that whenever the Spanish came here, they found natives along the river, and they called them pueblos because it means small community, small gathering of people, something like that along those lines. A lot of people forget that Spain was here way before the British. Did you know that?
I didn't know any of that.
When the British came to the United States and made it, the Spanish were here already.
Oh, that part I know.
And
when I
France.
Went to Mexico. When I went to Mexico, the history of Mexico, it tell me like New Mexico belonged to Mexico before.
So to
Before
Texas.
That, it was Spanish. I know. So as Texas and some other. So let me see. That's why it have California too. That's why it have the name, you know, Mexican name, because that belongs to Mexico. Versus like the other way will be more, you know. But it look really clear, very interesting. Yep. But this one. This one, okay, let's see if
It's old lava stones. Wow.
it's a little, oh yeah, that's good. But look, if this show, you know, in here look better than what we see. Let me just see that. That's interesting when you make it big and you can see it. Really nice.
So according to this sign,
Wow.
these stones all came from those cones on the distance, volcanoes 200,000 years ago. That's what they say. All right. Pretty good stuff up here. Oh, we have a dead end. It says
side trail. No, we go main trail.
yeah, main trail. The side trail is a dead end.
Where is the main trail? How come is that here? I think that's it.
It must be it.
Alright, picture from down here. So I don't need to go.
You got a good picture?
They did say that so far this way.
I see a petroglyph there.
Where?
Straight ahead, I see a marking. I can't tell what it is, but I see two. Yeah, you're right, though. You said there's hundreds?
Oh, no, they said hundreds.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
100, hundreds.
Yeah, plural. Many. Yeah.
Thousands. This is hundreds. You know, so far, that's why I said I want to see a little more, remember? When we see only a couple. And hopefully we probably see about,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
They say the restroom is here too. I don't see it.
Me neither.
So this one is just where you're sitting at.
The restroom is there, I bet.
Oh, you know what? Let me look at this. If we see some plexiglass, that is it.
Need binoculars now.
Oh, that's what
You
they
know
say.
binoculars.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No, I don't. My husband uses it. But I
Oh.
don't. He's good with that. I'm not. And I say, my curiosity. I feel I'm working with this. I can do it.
Prickly pear. There we go.
Right now, no flower.
Yeah.
I think probably the summertime. No, summer too hot. Maybe no. Maybe the springtime. Summer is too hot. The spring or the fall.
Yeah, spring or fall.
Yep. I
Purple
think fall.
aster. Yeah, you don't want to do this in July.
So, and then after that, so we came to my daughter's house. So in Abilene, and then I go to California.
Oh.
I know, but that's why I said I didn't stop in New Mexico because I didn't plan for that. So, and then I went to California, and then I think I go. Yep, and then I go back to Seattle. That's what I did.
You're a true explorer.
Looking for the bathroom and we found something good, huh? Plan to go home, but then it said,
And there's that one right there.
my goodness. Yep. I can see it, but from here, and it lay that. Ooh, because the sun, you know, but that is good. Oh, because the sun, the way the flare.
I'd be lying if I didn't say I'm not exhausted right now. You guys, I bumped into a 71-year-old Vietnamese lady at the Welcome Center, and we were going to the same place, Boca Negra, and she followed me there, and we took our whole stroll together, and I would have tapped out sooner, but she just wanted to keep going. So it was cool. We talked about a lot of stuff that I won't even get into now, but those things will come up on some other videos for sure. I've switched sides of town and the sun's going down. It is evening time, rush hour, and I came down here to Old Town, the original I guess, settler area. You know, something I've noticed since I started vlogging about New Mexico, I haven't done any research. So I really don't like saying stuff to you guys about this, that, and the other when I don't really know. So I'm probably misspeaking on a whole lot of things, but nevertheless, this is Old Town, just like Mombasa, Kenya has an old town, and Kansas City has a very older side of town. They just don't call it Old Town. So this area isn't really big, I don't think, but we're just going to take a little stroll. And I just stepped across the main road into the neighborhood, and the first thing I see is this. Check it out. The Breaking Bad store. There has been so much Breaking Bad marketing ever since I got into the States. Like, they're really running with that thing. Apparently they're pretty proud. I think he kind of put them on the map. But I'll say this, I've had this discussion with a few people along the way. New Mexico is not a place we ever hear about, really. It doesn't make the news much. It's not known as a premier destination by any means. It's lovely, look at that. But from the little bit that I've seen, it's really amazing, and it's an exciting place, really colorful, a ton of history. Here's a Bath and Body Works and tea store. Total tourist trap vibes. But I mean, just Albuquerque alone, it seems like they've really taken pretty damn good care of it. Check it out. We got a town square. Yeah, just like any Midwest American town, most of them have a town square. So I guess we'll walk a lap around the square. It's pretty cold too, so I'm cold, I'm tired. What I'm gonna do is go get some Asian food. The lady I was with, Vietnamese, I think I'm gonna go get Vietnamese food because I haven't had any since I lived in Kansas City, and I love Vietnamese food. Check out the lovely art. Oh, it's an art gallery. Makes perfect sense. Raven Blues Coffee House Cafe with an art gallery and ascension crystals. Like, I know the whole pagan spirituality thing is big in places like this. So I'm not surprised to see something about crystals. And that's also a very trending thing in the United States. Check out the old house there, totally renovated. It looks so good. You can imagine this being an old cowboy zone. You know, people riding their horses around and getting drunk and doing crazy stuff. The old days, you know. Maybe we'll get lucky and find a placard that tells us a little bit more. And I think if we're gonna find one, it would most likely be right around this square. So I'm gonna stroll through and see what I come up with. But it's really charming. Here's a nice little thing for holiday photos. Got the pavilion, as we call it, a pavilion, for doing little concerts and whatnot. I wonder if any lynchings happened there back in the day. You know, that's a sensitive word, but it's not a race specific by any means. That's very much a part of older world culture. Not even older world, you know, 100 years ago in America. That's how they punish people, lynching for crime. You guys, I couldn't help myself. We have to just take a quick pause for the sake of history, because I really feel, just in general, we see these things around us every day, but so much life occurred before the moment that we are in. And I just really feel it adds to the experience to understand who came before us, what happened here before us, while we're enjoying our juices and our coffees and our walks and our sandwiches and all of our colonial things that we're all guilty of doing every day. Old Town Albuquerque's most infamous historical lynchings occurred in 1881 when a mob of about 200 local residents seized and hanged 3 men in the plaza. The men were targeted in connection with the murder of a colonel surveyor that was sent by the federal government. He was actually going up into the Sandia Mountains prospecting, and he disappeared, never came back. Accused of murder, the 3 men ended up getting lynched. The men were accused of the murder and disappearance of the surveyor. Following a brief search by the local sheriff, a mob of nearly 200 locals took the suspects from the jail and hanged them directly in the Old Town Plaza. Local newspapers of the time, such as the Santa Fe New Mexican, notoriously defended the mob by stating, "It is very doubtful whether justice can be too swiftly meted out." In another incident at the courthouse, frontier justice in Albuquerque occurred in February 1883. Two men, Thompson and Despano, were jailed alongside two others for the murder of a man named Simpson. Fearing the arrival of an angry mob intent on lynching, the local jailer reportedly abandoned the building. To escape the mob, a third prisoner, Elias Scraggs, slit his own throat. The mob broke in anyway, bypassed the dying man, and dragged Thompson and Despano out to be hanged from a tree. So it makes sense. Wild West, none of this surprises me whatsoever. You know, I made some other comment before in my last video, or maybe it was this one, about the old days when, you know, America was working class, you know, your husband and wife, picket fence, and a couple kids. But I really failed you guys when I didn't mention the desperados, the cowboys, the rambling men. And that's the bloodline that I really come from, you know. There was a mother and a father and a bunch of kids, but there was a lot of rambling men dynamics and energy going on and lawless. And that was in North Missouri. This is the West, the Southwest, the West. It's known as the Wild West. It always has been. Here we go. We got the mountain howitzers. Let's see what this one says. 1835. 1835. 12-pound exploding shells, 1,000 yards. Light field piece of great mobility. Used in the Civil War. It says Confederate forces invaded New Mexico territory. They retreated back to Texas following defeat around Santa Fe, which is a city north of here. Looks like they didn't last very long. And again, I haven't researched, you guys. I can't just research on the spot. And the way my brain works, all that reading, I can't really soak it in that quickly. I got to read slowly. They have Kentucky, made in Kentucky. See, the plot thickens, you guys. We're in New Mexico, and they're mentioning the Civil War, but the cannons were made in Kentucky. I mean, what's really going on? Okay. You know, guys, with this history stuff, you know, I've been doing a lot of history exploration and narratives. Without proper research, you have to really take a lot of this stuff with a grain of salt sometimes as well, because you just never know the motivation for what was written. You know, a lot of people say the victor writes the history, something to that effect. So even some of the stuff I was reading at Boca Negra, it was like ultra sensitive about respecting the history behind the, see if I get the word right, petroglyphs? Petroglyphs? Did I get it right? Gosh, I'm gonna mess that up forever. But it's interesting because if you talk to natives out east of here, they might not be so romantic about the tribes from out here. So, you know, tribalism is a thing, and it depends on who you ask. That'll kind of determine the narrative that you get. Got a little directory here. It's all tourist stuff. This is nice. Old Town Emporium. Looks like they sell a lot of native stuff and souvenirs. So, yeah, 100% tourist zone. I'm not doing any shopping, but I imagine if I did, it wouldn't be too cheap. Probably a little bit pricey. But check this place out. That is very Western. The old wooden doors. It's pretty cool. It's a little cold for me. The sun is down. My hands are freezing. So I'm going to stroll back the other way where I came from. So I really just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a strolling view of the city to give you a better idea of what the streets look like. You know, everything on the ground and sidewalk is different than what you might see on the highway footage rolling down the road. You know, you don't get to see up close, so it gives you a little taste. And it's pretty festive, as you can see. They got the holly stuff out, everything ready for Christmas. It's pretty good looking stuff. So, oh yeah, this is just like Africa, you guys. This is just the same as Kenya, but this one is a fabric. I don't know what the ones in Kenya are made of, but that basket, very well made, was $24. For the Kenyans watching, that's about 3,000 shillings, and we buy the ones in Kenya for 200 shillings, but they're not made to last, the ones over there, which is why villagers that are actually using them, the winnowers, we call them winnowers, right? They have to put cow dung on the winnower to give it longevity, you know? So that's not one for using, that's one for decorating with. What's up, guys?
Thank you. Just trying to place in Santa Fe or something.
But, you know, even my winnower, I own one in Kenya in my home. It's decoration on the wall. Totally Western of me, you know. We don't use it really, maybe a couple times, but it hangs on the wall for deco. So I guess that's Old Town. Definitely not Old Town Mombasa, but in some ways it is similar. How they have fixed up some of the old storefronts and made them into retail tourist outlets. So, and there's your contemporary stuff, super expensive jewelry shop. Yeah, Old Town, you guys.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, 30 minutes in traffic jams later, I made it. We're at a Saigon restaurant, and there's so many options for Vietnamese food and every other Asian kind of food. When you get into smaller places in the US, you get down to just Chinese, maybe Thai food, but Thai is amazing too. But I have that near where I live, so tonight it's Vietnamese, so we're gonna order. Hello, I want to order to go. It's okay? Thank you. Last stop for Albuquerque. I'm heading home, guys. It's a good 9.5 hour drive if you go straight through. I'll probably catch a nap at some point, but we're going to close the trip like this, get a little munchy food for the road at the Donut Mart. And well, that sign looks kind of old. Paint job looks kind of old, but I was looking online and it looks pretty dang good. So we're about to find out, about to hit this highway.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
Give up on my way home, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? But you still amaze me. Wouldn't it be crazy? But you still amaze me. Wouldn't it be crazy? But you still amaze me. Wouldn't it be crazy? But you still amaze me. Give up on my way home, yeah. Give up on my way home, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? But you still amaze